5 types of people to avoid after 60, even if they're family. Have you ever felt that some people in your life, the closer they are, the more tired, drained, and even lost you become? Old age is not the time to please everyone. It's the time to choose, to keep those who bring peace, and step away from those who quietly cause you pain. You have the right to be loved. But that doesn't mean you must sacrifice yourself just to maintain a relationship that's already broken. And in today's video, we'll explore 5 types of people you should distance yourself from in old age, even if they're family, friends, or once very close. Not because you're selfish, but because you deserve to spend your remaining years in respect, gentleness, and peace. Stay until the end of the video, because the 5th person is often the one you overlook most, but may be the most dangerous to your emotional well-being. And if you've ever dealt with one of these types of people, leave a dot in the comments to let us know you're walking this journey with us to protect the mental health of older adults. Don't forget to hit subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss the upcoming helpful content created especially for those who are living and loving their lives in the most meaningful way. 1. The manipulator, those who disguise themselves as needing you. Some people don't come to you with love. They come with dependence. They don't demand outright, nor do they shout or blame. They just always need you. A sudden phone call, a short favor, a look that makes you hesitate to say no. At first you see it as an act of kindness, a small gesture of care. But slowly those small things become constant, and eventually you realize you're being drained. Manipulators don't always appear as clearly toxic people. They wear the mask of someone who needs help. They know how to knock on the door of compassion, especially the kind that lives in those who've spent a lifetime giving to others. They don't say, "I need you." They make you think, "Without me, how would they manage?" And so, you sacrifice another quiet afternoon, a good nap, a coffee date with an old friend, just to carry one more burden that isn't yours. But pause for a moment and ask yourself, am I truly helping, or am I being emotionally controlled through guilt? You are not selfish for setting boundaries. You are not cold for saying no to what exhausts you. Because kindness is not something to be exploited. It is a gift. And that gift should only be given when your heart still feels at peace in offering it. So next time someone calls with another request, take a deep breath. And if your heart whispers enough, don't be afraid to say, "I'm sorry, I can't this time." You've been through too much to continue living in an invisible cage built from your own compassion. Now is the time to step out, to protect the precious years you have left with mindfulness, and to live gently, fully, in the freedom you absolutely deserve. 2. The self-centered, those who only see themselves. There's a quiet kind of sadness when you're sharing a story from your life and realize the person across from you isn't truly listening. You bring up a memory, and they cut in with one of their own. You share a joy, and they steer the conversation toward their sorrow. And then you fall silent. Not because you no longer want to speak, but because you know no one is really there to hear it. Self-centered people don't need to be loud or say hurtful things to do damage. They slowly make you disappear in the very conversations you thought were shared. Each time you see them, you become the background for their spotlight. Every word you speak becomes just another prompt for them to talk more about themselves. And little by little, you begin to feel invisible. But you are not invisible. You are a whole world, full of untold stories, precious memories, and lessons shaped by a life rich with experience. You deserve to be heard. So if someone consistently makes you feel smaller in the space of your own voice, step back, gently, not to argue, but to protect what space is still yours. Try saying, "I wasn't finished. Would you let me share the rest?" And if even that is ignored, then you've received your answer. Not everyone deserves a place in the final chapters of your life. Those who don't value you shouldn't be the ones you hold on to at any cost. Because now is your time to live in peace, without having to please anyone, without having to disappear so someone else can shine. You've come this far. There's no reason not to be fully, unapologetically yourself in these most precious years of your life. 3. The critic, the ones who make you doubt yourself. There are words that aren't loud, harsh, or aggressive, yet they cut deep, slicing away bit by bit at your self-belief. It's the small remark about your new haircut, the distant eyes when you're sharing something with excitement, the offhand comment, "Why would you be doing that at your age?" That makes you stop and wonder, am I doing something wrong? The critic isn't always cruel on purpose. Sometimes they're family, friends, even someone you once trusted deeply. And that's exactly why their words hurt so much more. You start to question your choices. You begin to hesitate, shrink yourself, and lose the freedom that used to feel like yours. And the saddest part is, you begin to go quiet. But my dear friend, you don't have to prove anything to anyone. You've lived a life full of difficult decisions. You've endured pain that others may never fully understand. So no one has the right to make you feel not good enough. If someone always finds something to criticize, even under the guise of just giving feedback, and you leave each interaction feeling drained, then it's time to draw a boundary. Say, "Thanks, but I'm happy with what I'm doing." And if needed, step back from the conversations that steal your peace. Remember this: you were not born to fit someone else's mold. You don't owe anyone a perfect version of yourself. All you need to be is wholly, unapologetically you. These years are not meant for judgment. They're meant for soft laughter, calm afternoons, and people who remind you you are always enough. Enough to be here. Enough to be loved. Enough to be happy. 4. The irresponsible, the burdens that were never yours to carry. You've spent so many years of your life carrying others, your family, your children, responsibilities, sacrifices. At this age, you should be walking lighter, enjoying each peaceful moment. And yet, there are people who still make you feel like you have to be responsible for them. The irresponsible aren't always bad people. Sometimes they're the ones you love the most. But that doesn't lessen the weight they unknowingly or deliberately place on your shoulders. They overspend and come to you when things fall apart. They make poor choices and expect you to clean up the consequences. They've grown so used to you always being there, they forget. You have limits too. And you, out of love, out of habit, keep giving. But every time you do, you drain a little more of your time, your strength, and your peace. You have the right to stop. Stopping isn't selfish. It's the moment you realize helping someone doesn't mean living their life for them. Doing everything for them doesn't make them grow up. It only wears you down. They need to learn responsibility, and you need to learn to let go. Say it gently but firmly. I'm sorry, but this is something you need to handle. Not out of anger, but as a quiet reminder to both of you. We each have our own load to carry. It's time to live for yourself now. These remaining years are not meant for fixing others' mistakes. They are for resting, for peace, and for reclaiming the freedom you've long deserved. 5. The ungrateful. Those who don't value your kindness. In the later years of life, after you've given a lifetime of love, nothing chills the heart faster than ingratitude. Not because you want to be praised, but because when someone sees what you do as expected, as obligation, as duty, your kindness starts to feel invisible. Maybe you've cooked hundreds of meals for your children and grandchildren, lent them money, stood by them when they had no one else. And what did you get in return? Indifference, dismissive glances, silence when you're tired, and sometimes even blame that you didn't do more, that you didn't understand them better. That's the pain of dealing with the ungrateful. They don't need to insult you or deny your efforts. It's enough that they don't appreciate them, and already your heart begins to grow cold. But you know what? You have the right to stop sacrificing for those who don't value it, because kindness is not a debt. It's a gift, and gifts should only be given to those who cherish them. Step back. Observe. Who receives your efforts with warm eyes and sincere gratitude? They deserve it. And those who only take, never give, never thank. It's time to create space, not to punish, but to protect yourself from being depleted. Because at this age, you don't have time to waste what's precious on those who don't even see its worth. And the moment you begin to choose wisely is the moment you begin to live more lightly, more worthily, and more joyfully. Choose peace as you age. Growing old is not the end. It's a new chapter where you have the right to live gently, live selectively, and live true to yourself. But to do that, you must learn to let go of the relationships that quietly wear down your spirit. The manipulators, who make you feel guilty every time you say no. The selfish, who only take and never stop to truly listen. The critics, who make you feel like you're never enough, even after a lifetime of giving. The irresponsible, who unload their burdens onto shoulders that have already carried so much. And the ungrateful, who make your kindness feel invisible, simply because they never bother to say thank you. You can love and still have boundaries. You can help and still protect yourself. And you can be kind without sacrificing your peace. Choose to be around those who make your heart feel light. Those who make you want to share, want to smile, and want to live many more years. Because those are the ones who truly deserve a place in the precious time you have left.